So then you did it. You went to Iowa State. Why Iowa State?
Well, actually, I went my freshman year to University of Portland, and I was from Minnesota. I went to the University of Portland. I had really a scholarship to be an engineering major, but I had never been in Oregon before, going, arriving there to go to college. And when I got to Portland, well, Portland's a beautiful city. It's beautiful because it rains out about 4 or 5 days a week, at least during the school year. And after one season, I guess we could call it, of that, I decided that I wanted to transfer back a little bit closer to home. And Iowa State is known as a very good engineering college back in the Midwest.
It is. It is a phenomenal engineering college back in the Midwest. I have some friends that went there that were engineers. I interned with a couple Iowa State engineers, and it is a phenomenal school. So, was the reason why you transferred there, was a combination of the location and the prestige of the program? Were there certain things that you were looking for in the program whenever you were picking out which one to transfer to?
You know how it works when you're that young. Is A good friend of mine was going there that next year. I said, you know what? It
Yeah.
wasn't really any more sophisticated than that, and it was in a college town. Before I picked Portland, the one other college I had really considered strongly was University of Wisconsin at Madison, and that would have been a really fun place to go for sure. But it was a little bit bigger city, and I liked the idea of kind of a college town, which Iowa State presented.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'll say though, University of Wisconsin-Madison maybe also difficult on the weather, maybe not as nice as Iowa State, or is it about the same?
Oh, I think they're both not too well. I mean, if you want to have, you have all 4 seasons, so you're definitely going to have cold weather in the winter at either place.
Yeah, and I can thank the University of Wisconsin-Madison for having horrific weather in the winter for my parents meeting one another. My mom, she moved to the U.S. from Hong Kong, and when she came to visit universities to tour, she toured University of Wisconsin-Madison in the summer. And as you can imagine, it is absolutely gorgeous up there in the summer. And being from a relatively humid and hot climate in Hong Kong, she thought that was a wonderful. She didn't last 1 year. Within 1 year, she transferred to the University of Texas, and she's like, "I'm out of here." And then, long story short, eventually a few years later, well, more than a few years later, my parents met in Texas. So, yeah, that's a good factor. And I've heard of worse reasons for people choosing to a college. I've heard of people following girlfriends, boyfriends, and then breaking up within first semester. So having a friend there and a great engineering school is a perfectly valid reason for choosing Iowa State. I understand that.
Never losing focus because I ain't chasing payments. Still playing in the basement while I'm working on arrangements. They heard the kid in 50 countries, thank God that's amazing. But I'd rather thank Spotify, they put me on the station.